We'll just start, man.
Another one.
Let's start from the beginning.
Let's do it.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, my name is Aakash. I'm born and raised in Bangkok. Parents are from India. I've been living in China. So I grew up in Thailand I was there till the age of 18. I went to university in Australia till the age of 22. And then I moved to China it's about 2010.
Yep.
And I've been living in China ever since.
So my introduction to you was from Felipe, and he was just like, you got to meet Aakash. He has all these crazy war stories from his time in China.
Oh yeah, I've been through it all.
This is the Legion.
You just want a Cardi, and I just want a Rari. Go and get a body. I'm shining, now I'm guarding. What do I see you burning? What you know I am just learning. I'm keeping what I'm earning. I'm getting what I'm swerving. You just want a Cardi, and I just want a Rari. Go and get a body. I'm shining, now I'm guarding. What do I see you burning? What you know I am just learning. I'm keeping what I'm earning. I'm getting what I'm swerving. I woke up, it's 4 a.m. Where do I begin? Nighttime thoughts run through my head. I hear my heart racing. Stallion, black and blue, you hear it going 45 miles per hour. Beautiful heights.
You know, when we started out in China in 2010, we were kind of just doing everything possible, sourcing everything for everyone. So, and then, you know, I've learned my lesson by dealing with suppliers here. But I've been through some pretty serious stuff in the past couple of years. Like, for example, a couple of factories shutting down halfway through my production. Deposits.
With no notice.
Yeah. Like, I'll give you an example. About 2 years ago, I was working with a denim factory in Foshan. And we have done actually a couple of orders with them before. And that was small orders, like $10,000-$20,000. Yeah, it was all right. And then I gave him a big daddy order, like it was like a $200,000 order, and I placed a deposit. And he's like, and I told him, listen, stop taking deposits. You know when you develop like a good rapport with these suppliers, they usually help you out with credit. But he's like, no, it's a big order. Help me out with the deposit. Give me at least 50 grand or 60 grand. I was like, it's a lot of money to pay up front, you know, for this. He's like, no, just give it to me. I'll make sure everything goes smooth. Figured it out. Sent him a deposit.
Now there would be a red flag.
Yeah. So what the thing is, I've been there a couple times. I've already done orders with him before. Shipped, no problem, you know. So I was like, okay, whatever. He's like, I need it. I don't have that much cash lying around. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll help you out. Send a deposit. This was in end of July, 2 years ago. I remember it really clearly because it was, so that went on. And he's like, fabric takes about 20 days. It was jeans, it was denim, right? 20 days, I'm like, it usually takes 10, 15, but okay, you know what? Takes 20 days, takes 20 days.
Now that would be another.
That's why I'm like, I went to him, I'm like, dude, that's 20 days, that's insane, you know? He said, no, it's a special fabric. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to hold you to it. So I thought 20 days, you know, figure it out.
Trying to give himself an extra 10-day head start to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. So then 20 days passed. So it was a fabric. He's still there. Factory's still running. I get there. He's like, no, there's some issue with the fabric. Another 5 days. I'm like, no, it's a big order. Delivery's in 35 days. It's a big ass order. And you tell me the fabric's not in. I mean, it reduces delivery time.
Yeah.
Right. This is August. I think third week of August. No fabric yet. End of August. No fabric yet. Delivery's September 3rd week now.
Is the client starting to get anxious?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Samples not in. I mean, approvals are done.
Yeah.
But you know, you got to make a pre-production sample from the actual bulk fabric. Right? So that happens, and then you're looking. Now it's heading towards end of August. It's been 35 days since I paid deposit. Nothing in yet. He's like, no. Then I started calling him over and over again, showing up at his factory unannounced. I'm like, dude, what's happening? He said, no, guarantee this. Tomorrow, you'll get it delivered. No problem. Guarantee. Tomorrow becomes tomorrow. 4 days go by. I'm like, listen, I've had enough. Tell me, give me a solution, give me a conclusion. You know, we got to figure this out because I need to make my clients happy. This is now the 5th of September. Yeah, the first week, something like that, September. Calls me in the morning. So yeah, today afternoon for sure, fabric's in. All right, I didn't want to start arguing with him too much. He told me it's in. I'm like, okay, fine. At 3 or 4 o'clock, I call him. He doesn't pick up my phone. Then I'm panicking. You know, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. He finally picks up the phone at 7 o'clock, and I've called him at least 70 or 80 times in the meantime, because I've shown up in his factory. He's not there, but other staff are there. Staff don't know what's happening. You know, they're just doing their own thing. Calls me back at 7. He's like, can't do the order. Like, why? He's like, oh, no, I can't do it. I can't do it.
How about that money?
Yeah. Then I'm like, okay, I want the money. He's like, I'll give it back to you later. I'm like,
Oh my God.
next day, I go out, show up at his factory, chained up.
Jeez.
And I know people in Foshan, so I made a couple calls to my existing factories. I'm like, listen, what happened? He says, yeah, dude, this guy's been bankrupt for the past month. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, they've been having issues, all that stuff. And then a week later, for another 5 days, he doesn't pick up my phone. Finally, he calls me back about 6th day. This is like second week of September now. Yeah, about 10th, 11th. He's like, all right, I have the fabric. It's with the supplier. Okay, take me there. Took me there. Fabric's there. Yeah. He's not paid the supplier yet. He used my money to clear off his old debts. He's like, you know what?
The little Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, that's what he did. That's exactly what he did. So I'm like, all right.
First name Lee, last name Madoff, right?
Yeah, the Bernie Madoff. Yeah. So then that happens. We show up at the fabric factory. First, he's telling me that the fabric factory is the one area of China, or Guangzhou. No, like city outside. But turns out it was actually the other area. Okay, fine, whatever. Get their fabrics there. So I want the money. He's like, I can't do the order. I don't have money. Okay, so what about my money? Give it back to me. He's like, no, do this. Pay the supplier. Yeah, pay them the balance of the fabric and take it. I'm like, dude, that's another 40 grand I gotta cough up now because the fabric's really expensive. So I'm stressing out. Come up with more money.
And his explanation to you is that once you get the fabric, he'll make it for you?
No, he said take the fabric and do it yourself. So now I'm like thinking, my delivery's in a week.
So his compensation for your 50 to
Was just to
60K
introduce you
was
to
to
the fabric
introduce you to the fabric supplier?
So
like,
basically
I
what he's
can't
done
give
is
you your
that
money
he's
back.
negotiated. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
He's negotiated with the fabric mill.
Show you the factory.
Yeah, exactly. So what he's done is negotiate with the fabric mill, saying these guys will pay you for all the fabric,
Yeah.
and for their agreement, whatever money he owed other people, he'll deal with it in their own time. It's now 15th of September, mid-September, yeah. The delivery was today. My client's like, this is bullshit. Literally, as soon as I tell him this, I'm like, I need another 3 weeks. He gets on the plane right then and there, flies down to see me. It's like, the Australians, they're ready to go off at you like this. It was an interesting 1 hour conversation with him. I'm like, listen.
Is that the last order with them?
The factory or the
No,
client?
with the client.
It gets worse.
Okay.
It gets worse. It's not it yet.
I'm not there yet.
Yeah, you're not there
Still rolling.
yet. Yeah. So then the factory comes in, the client comes in, whatever. I'm like, okay, you know what? This is it. I'll make the deliveries. I'll air it in for you. And this is like the air cost was going to cost me like 25 grand, but I want to make the client happy because they had delivery dates to meet. I mean, I'll get it to you. It'll be 2 weeks late, but I'll get it to you. So, all right, fine. I pay the fabric. Cost another 40 grand. Pay the fabric out. There's 100 grand in already. I find another factory to do it. I'm like, listen, I have 20,000 pieces of denims. I need 20, 30,000 denims. I need delivery in 3 weeks. Can you do it? He's like, what? So he figured it out for me. Found like 4 or 5 different factories, split it up. So initially I promised my client, I think it was first week of October. Then I pushed it to second week because I forgot the October holiday was on. Factories were closed for 3 days. Finally shipped it about mid-October. Gets there. This is after ship, figured out, delivered in a month, gets there. Factory rushed it so quick that the labels were incorrect. A 6 was a 10, 10 was a 12. Oh my God. So then the client, they had to fix it themselves. So on top of the bill that I got for airing it,
You have to pay their
I had to
labor.
pay their fixing cost in Australia.
Which isn't China.
Yeah. That's why I yelled at my factory.
My
Like,
RMA is going to be
yeah.
$50 an hour, right?
Yeah. And Australian salaries are high. You know, they're not like in the US where it's $10, $12 an hour. There it's $17, $18, you know? So,
You're going to pay the cleaning crew.
yeah. So I go there. I fly to Australia. I'm like, fuck, what do I do? You know, what do I do? It was like, say about 20% of the production was have problems with the labels, and I told my factory, listen, you're paying for this. Like, yeah, okay, fine. They thought it was like 1 or 2 RMB or 3 RMB. I'm like, no, it's not that cheap.
It's the whole cost.
Yeah,
of
it's
the
all
order.
cost. So
Did they pay?
in the end, I negotiated with the factory. I'm like, listen, we'll do half, whatever. Because it was not their. I mean, they rushed it for me, so I can't blame them completely. But at the same time, I did.
So when you initially got that order and you thought you were, I'm in the money.
Yeah.
Because these guys, and then this is my second order. The first order was smooth. I'm like, all right, you know what? First order was 100 grand. I'm like, dude, that's amazing. They're like, yeah, if we test you out for 3 seasons. After 3 seasons, it was guaranteed $3 million a year. And I was doing net 15-20%. And payment terms were amazing. Goods get delivered, BL's in my hand, I get paid, I send the BL, we're good.
But after this order,
After negotiating how much fixing costs were and everything, I go to the meeting in Australia in like November. The manager, the buyer, they're both going off at me. The owner comes in, the CEO comes in. He's like, this is your order? Nah, we're done.
no.
Get the fuck out. He walks out of the meeting. Oh man, that was and it was so shitty of him the way he spoke to me. I'm just like, all right, whatever. But the manager and me were cool. He's like, man, shit happens, but I've never seen shit go that bad in my life. And he's been in the industry for 30 years. I was like, dude, tell me about it, man.
I was just telling Rico we did a podcast or video
Where?
when I was talking about Lao. It was a podcast, but I had a similar situation where I paid a bunch of money. It was the first big order. And it was the same exact scenario in that I saw these red flags and I started to press them really hard, and it started to be, oh, I'll have it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow was tomorrow, and then tomorrow was tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he was just so, I don't know, ashamed. He didn't want to lose face. I don't know what it is when you haven't done a damn thing and you lost all the money I gave you to start this.
Same.
You're still going to tell me it's tomorrow.
Did you end up that deposit that you paid him? Did you end up getting that back or?
So basically, we got the fabric out. So in the end, after taking the fabric and negotiating with the fabric supplier and all that stuff, I got my money back.
Yeah.
But the amount of money I lost doing that order because of the air cost, sending stuff to Australia, it was a whole container, and also the fixing costs.
Yeah.
I should have just canceled the order.
You lost money. You didn't make money.
Oh,
Lost a
that's an
lot.
understatement of the year.
What happened to what happened to that factory boss? Did you ever?
Yeah, so basically the guy did the same thing to other people too.
Oh, jeez. So
Yeah.
he really was.
Really was a Ponzi scheme. Yeah.
He was out here.
So he bailed, ran away, and at least I was happy that I got my money back, kind of, but he screwed over a lot of other people too.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Must
So that was one example.
must have been in a big hole if he's.
He's run away. He's in some city. He's in Guangxi right now, apparently. I don't know. Whatever.
Surprised the mafia hasn't come after.
Yeah, I'm sure they probably have, but I don't know.
I mean,
That's one bad example. I mean, I've had issues here and there too, but that was probably the worst things that ever happened to me.
It's interesting the solution that you ended up coming up with, where you found a factory that found like multiple suppliers to get the order done, and that's basically what we did with the fidget spinners, where we had to get 4 factories to produce simultaneously in order to get like a certain amount within 2 weeks.
That's when the whole craze of the fidget spinners were out.
Yeah. 2 summers ago.
And within 3 to 6 months of completing that order, there was
Completely faded out.
Yeah, done.
There was these giant warehouses just filled with
Yeah,
hundreds of
yeah.
thousands of fidget spinners down in
Because all this
Shenzhen.
machinery that used to make fidget spinners were actually machines to like make stuff for other machines and automobiles and stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Well, when we were going to visit and find factories to help us to expand the production range, there was factories that were making something else, but they had just literally pushed all their shit into a corner and set up fidget operation.
Spinner, yeah. And there's those factories that are. We were having conversations with factories about partnering up. Because there's like
Running their
running their
factories for
factory.
them,
Yeah. It's like we'll open up these lines and all that stuff. It's like nope. No, a couple months later,
A couple of months later, not one
Done.
person wanted the fidget spinner.
the WeChat group was dead. So I mean, so that's the craziest story. But you've got quite a few.
Oh yeah, I do have quite a few. That was probably the worst of the worst. Probably worse was another problem. Another issue I had was with a client of mine in the Middle East. So these guys are a big group. They've been around for 80 years, and we did an order with them. Amazing. Second order, amazing. First few orders like $30,000-$40,000. But then I knew these guys were big, so I just kept feeding them stuff, sending them emails, sending them developments, keep calling them, hey, how's it going? You know, try to keep a good relationship with them. And the next order came in. They basically ordered stuff from July all the way till Chinese New Year. And they gave it ordered right away. They're like, we need delivery August, September, October, November, because they wanted to get everything out before Chinese New Year. Amazing. $500,000 order. I'm on top of the world. Biggest order I ever had in my life. Just 4 years ago. Okay. And they don't pay deposit, but cash on delivery. That's okay. And they're big guys. I know these guys are backed up like money, like big air money backed up, you know?
Like royal money.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, you know what? All right, you know what? I'll figure it out. Let's do it. So samples get made. Approvals get made.
Royal oil money. I had to say that.
Yeah.
It was just in my brain.
So everything's approved. We get the go ahead to go to production. And I have fabrics in-house everywhere to go. So they start making the pattern. You know, with clothing, first you gotta make the pattern out of paper, then you gotta cut the fabric.
Yeah.
So this is the stage where everything was cut in the shape, and then all they had to do was put the two fabrics together and start sewing. Right? First delivery was in July or beginning August, and this was early July, first, second, third, first week of July. Right. This is the stage we're at, and I told my factory, listen, take care of this client, because sky's the limit with these guys. Like I know people who work with them in the past, their lives are made with these clients. Like $1-2 million is the easiest thing, the easiest orders they can give you.
Do you what year is this? This is 4 years ago, right?
4 years ago.
Do you think, did the factory believe you when you said that? Do you feel like they were like, okay, this is legit? You know?
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking about this aspect of, because I should probably do a video about this where, you know, a lot of people always tell the factories, yeah, it's going to be big. We're going to, you know, 1 year from now, we're going to be doing millions of dollars. And it's like 90% of the time
Because
I'd say more than
I believed it
90%
too,
of the time.
because I know how big these guys are.
Yeah.
And fortunately for me, I've learned the language, Mandarin, and also learned the culture. And I'm Asian too, and I'm Thai, so it's like very similar culture.
But he's just saying that the factories hear this all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, you know, you gotta connect to them at a different level. You can't just be like, oh, this is an
They
order.
know you're legit.
Yeah.
They understand what kind of
So you just like,
people you're
'cause
working
if you
with.
believe it, you can make anyone believe you.
Yeah.
Well, I also think, like you said, because you're here and you're running a import-export business. I think it's a little bit different coming from you versus coming from the client direct. Because the same thing for me. It's like we rarely say that to factories unless we really believe it, and that's very rare that we believe it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, so I believed it. So I convinced them. Listen, get these guys right. Next year,
We're good.
it's gonna double.
Everybody's good.
Yeah. I told them payment on delivery. Clients love that word, payment on delivery. When you talk credit, then they're like, all right, let's work this out. But anyway, everything's cut. I remember this really clearly. It was July 3rd. I go to bed thinking, you know what, everything's going great. July 3rd at 4 a.m. we get an email from my client. They shoot out the email to all suppliers saying, blah, blah, we're no longer in operation. Please let me know how we can redirect your goods to other clients and we will pay a shipping cost for you. I would wake up the next day, calling them over and over again, messages and email, no reply. Office shut down, everyone's running.
Business closed.
Yeah, they're done. And they've been in the business for 80 years in the Middle East. The reason that they closed down is because, you know, the whole Saudi situation in Qatar? You know Qatar closed up in the Middle East? That was then, during that time. So I'm like, what happened? Whoa. Tell a factory, listen, stop. When you tell a factory stop production halfway, they start worrying, you know? I shouldn't have done that, but I didn't know what to do. So finally, the clients reply about a week later saying, we're no longer in business, we don't have any money, whatever investments they made didn't work out, all that crap. So then I'm like, what do I do? So I start figuring out, how do I sell it? Even though if I don't make a profit, I don't care.
Right.
I found buyers in the same industry, in the same area, like Middle East, but I wasn't getting, like, the cost of making the order and selling it off was at a far more cost than me canceling it. Yeah. Me canceling the goods.
Okay.
Yeah, because I already paid deposits to the factory.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're gonna lose the deposit.
Yeah. And see, the other side of it was I do the order, but sell it at a complete loss. Not even like a bit loss. It's like I should just canceling the order would be beneficial for me.
Yeah.
2 weeks went by. Clients were like, "No, we don't have money." They run away. Finally, one of their managers come back in the email saying, "Hey guys, we're not working. We're not in the operation anymore, and all their businesses have been taken over by the banks." Yeah. So I had over $100,000 worth of fabric, and I paid for half of it, about 50 grand, and factories are coming after me now. So that went on for about a month, just going back and forth to fabric, with the factory, with the fabric mill. In the end, I had to, me and the factory agreed on something, but at the same time, I give them other orders. So I'm like, listen, I'm giving you orders continually. Just forget about this, we'll figure it out.
We'll make the money back.
We'll make the money back. But the fabric that I purchased before, all the stuff they cut before, I couldn't sell.
Wow.
So that's just basically chucked in the bin.
But I mean, that's also a good lesson. Is like if you have that relationship with the factories, if you end up in a situation like that, you can still work it out because they know that they're going to be processing other orders with you, right? Like,
Yeah, if you immediately have other stuff to toss on. Having been through these situations, what do you do differently now to ensure that doesn't happen again?
Now when I work with, the thing with the clients, you can't predict. Especially with a company, like I said, in the Middle East, it's 80 years in business. Never had any stories that came out about them saying they were in a financial situation where they couldn't afford to do business. Nothing like that. But with the factories now, so what I've done is I've hired a QC, but a QC manager that will go visit I do a lot of my sourcing myself. I do a lot of LinkedIn, Alibaba, cold calling factories, or so that I just rock up to their factory and drive in and be like, "Hey, where's your boss?" I do that all the time. You guys, walk into the factory and the guy's like, "Who the hell are you?" But I do that because I know, like certain areas.
There's a long way by the.
Yeah. So I walk in, they'd be like, "Are you kidding me?" But I'm like, "Yeah, I see your stuff. I was walking by, I was driving by, I saw you guys." I'm like, "Oh,
Just happened to be driving by
Yeah.
industrial area.
Yeah. Because like for example, like
neighborhood.
Exactly.
Yeah, guys, so I was playing squash down the road.
Yeah.
I noticed you.
Yeah. So there's certain areas that in Guangdong especially, it's quite organized in a certain way that the denim guys are here, the knitwear guys are here. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I already visited a factory nearby. I was just driving around, I see another factory there. Drove in. But now what I do is that instead of just walking in and giving orders straight away, I send my QC manager to go in that area, go visit the factory. At the same time, we're also doing business with other factories in that area, right? But he would go find out through his contacts.
That's the network.
About the factory.
About that factory. Yeah.
Which is what I should have done since the beginning, since I started business in China. I learned the hard way, but now that's all I do.
Yeah, no, I mean, we had our situation with the CrossFit equipment factory.
True.
Yeah, and that was like basically how we found out that he was what he was just talking to like other factories in the space, and then they kind of gave us a rundown on
Yeah. The more competitors we reached out to, the more we got the backstory.
Yeah.
What he was
what he was really about. Because he was pretending to produce all the goods, but really it's just like producing 20% of the goods and then outsourcing the rest.
But a lot of factories do that though.
Yeah, for sure.
But see, I don't care as much as long as they take care of it.
Yeah, as long as they take care of it. But we ended up in a situation where we were delivering the goods 3-4 months late.
Yeah.
Which was just not a fun experience. How did you meet Felipe?
So you know the guys from Brink, right?
Yeah.
Manav, all these guys. Manav's one of my boys from back in the day. And so I was hanging out with Manav back before we moved to Hong Kong. This is like, because when I first moved here, there's not many people, not much of an international crew. And when you kind of see people, and you just kind of...
How have you guys never met, man?
Yeah. I actually want to show you somebody, man. I want to show you somebody and see if you're friends with them.
So Manav was my boy back in the day, and then through him, I met a couple other people. And then through him, I met Archit. You know Archit? He also with Brink.
No.
Well, not Brink anymore, He used to be at Brink. Now he's doing his master's in the U.S.
Okay.
So I met Archit, and then we started hitting it off. Like, it turned out we had a lot of common friends because he's from Dubai.
Yeah.
And I had people from Dubai I knew. So yeah, I started hanging out with Archit quite a bit, and then he's like, let's do a trip. I'm like, yeah, let's go to he told me let's go to Yangshuo in Guilin. I'm like, dude, I'm down. I've never been, because whenever you get a chance to go on a holiday here in China, you get out of China.
Yeah.
Because it's just too crazy, especially during the public holidays. I said, no, let's do this. I'm like, all right, let's do it. Try to look for transportation, trains, planes, all full. I'm like, you know what? I got a car. Let's drive to Yangshuo. 5-hour drive, mind you. But he's like, oh, I got a friend coming too. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I took an 8-hour. Well, it wasn't supposed to be 8 hours, but it ended up being 8 hours. I took an 8-hour bus.
Yeah.
The sleeper buses.
Yeah.
To Yangshuo, that was
Yeah.
interesting.
I went to Yangshuo during like a busy vacation time.
I
in
went
the
October
summer.
break. The
That was
golden
the
weekend.
worst trip.
Oh my god.
Holiday? Oh my
I
god.
was like, this is not a fucking holiday, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm body to body with 500
It was exactly.
Oh, seeing this great river. This is awful, man.
Wow.
I gotta get the fuck out of here.
So at 5:30, I call Archer, let's go, and then we go. He's like, oh, I'll pick up a friend too. I'm like, okay, cool. Drove up, and Felipe got in the car. And these guys pass out when I'm driving to Yangshuo. That's it. Me and Felipe since then we're boys.
That's cool. I just had him we just released a video with Felipe. It's an episode that released yesterday. So, but yeah, man. What about so Felipe and the Brink guys? I guess you met Nick through all those
Through Brink guys, yeah.
The Brink guys. And did you meet Tim, Nick's old business partner?
Nick's old big Tim was.
No, that was before he was at Brink.
Yeah.
Do you plan to be in China for the near
Well,
future?
I mean, I'm not sure at the moment because I'm starting a new business in China where I'm selling a product in China itself. We're actually doing a launch at Po Park, the next to the station. Yeah. So on 3rd and 4th of May.
Okay.
What's the product?
Can you?
Yeah. So it's a product. It's a brand called Nanix. It's from Belgium, and it's so brands in the U.S. like Crep Protect, Jason Mark, the sneaker cleaning.
Yeah.
So I've launched my own brand in China, where it's shoe protection
Okay.
against liquids, wine, coffee. Not only for shoes, handbags, whatever you want to coat. It's a can, aerosol can.
Rain.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the girls down at the railway station are trying to hustle.
We give it to them, hustle. But yeah, so it's a brand from Belgium, and we're launching in China 3rd and 4th of May at the Po Park, and we're also finalizing the WeChat and Taobao page. And I found a marketing company to help me do the marketing in China.
So do you have a partner here? Or?
Yeah, I have a partner, Eric. He used to be the head of Collier's South China.
Okay.
Yeah, because the same brand, I'm a partner with we have the same brand in Thailand. I'm a partner in that. It's called Always Dry.
You're selling in Thailand now.
Yeah. So we're selling right now in Bangkok, so we're doing online through influencers, Instagram, all that, and we're also selling it through Superstore, which is like it's a franchise of retail shoes.
Through your own site or through Lazada or something?
No, we don't do Lazada, but we do other websites too.
Any particular reason why you're not selling on Lazada?
Don't particularly I mean, we are selling on Lazada, but sales weren't that great in Lazada, and we're able to target clients directly ourselves. So
It's interesting because I was like talking to Alan about Lazada, and it's like I mean obviously there's a lot of potential there, but even when I went to the Philippines, like a lot of people they just don't like the platform. Like, they're gonna have to figure out their shit.
yeah.
Okay, so we talked a lot about some crazy stories, but what is one of your biggest successes in business in China?
Well, this brand I'm launching in China is my baby right now. Because if this launches the way I see the growth potential, because in Bangkok, sales are doing amazing right now. And Bangkok is a dot compared to how big China can be, You have Guangzhou, Shanghai, Beijing, Shenzhen. It's really big. So if it replicates or even if it duplicates its business from Thailand, even one-to-one duplication, I'll be more than happy. Because the sale potential in China is huge, right? If this kicks off the way I see it, and it runs for the next year or two, I'm done with trading because the potential is huge.
Hanging up your sourcing.
Yeah. I mean,
boots.
see, I enjoy sourcing. I enjoy the hustle part. I enjoy doing fashion. That's the passion of mine is. But
If that does take place, and that's kind of how things move, do you see yourself staying here, or would you relocate
no.
to operate the business?
So, China would always be my base for work.
Right.
But eventually, my plan is to move back to Bangkok.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a Thai citizen. Parents are there. Family's there. Back in Thailand, it's so chill. Like,
So what situation do you have to be in to decide to just move back? Is it like when
Well,
you feel like you've set up your
yeah.
business here and
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I'm making enough money
Yeah.
from here and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's automated.
I mean, right now, a lot of my sourcing business, I can't hand it off to my staff. Like, no matter how well trained my staff are, they will never be in a position to run the company where I can take a step back and let them run it. I need to be on it with the factories, like certain things like prices. Factory tells me a price, 60 RMB. I'm like, no, it's 55. And then, my staff would be like, okay, it's 60, whatever. But then, I'll call and hustle and be like, no, listen, I know how much this costs. I know how much this costs. Why are you hustling me now?
Yeah.
But so they.
Well, that's part of that is your like the way it is you buy and sell to the clients, right?
Yeah.
Like so, you make money with the margins.
Yeah.
So it's but then the staff isn't as invested.
Because they're staff.
gonna get
They're
a
not. It's not
salary.
their company.
Yeah.
They're getting paid every month. Right?
Do you ever think about I don't know, promoting one of your employees, giving them like a
I don't.
percentage into
It
the
would
business?
still
or-
will never give them the. I wouldn't say courage, but just it wouldn't give them any other incentive to grow, even though they have percent of the company, percent of profits. I still don't see them, investing themselves into this, 100%. Like, unless it's their company. But then I feel like with Chinese people in general, I don't feel like their hustle. I mean, they work hard, but then they won't be able to ever run a company like the way we run it. They might have a different way to run things, but just the way they run the business, the way I run a business is completely different. And especially this is my company. Even though I'm probably not the best businessman in the world, but I want things done my way.
So then the alternative is then hiring like a foreigner.
Yeah, we were thinking about doing that, but again,
Which is also like-
it's another issue on its own.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to get the right person. There have to be somebody that is familiar with business in China.
Exactly. And
Has to be the right
it's
mold.
added expenses, especially now in China. Salaries are so high for Chinese staff now. It's like, is it
Foreign
affordable?
staff is going to be
Yeah.
significantly higher.
Yeah.
That's really
Just finding someone that wants to be here full
exactly. That's one of the reasons why I moved my office from Zhejiang to Panyu.
time. Yeah.
My office rent is a third of what it used to be. And then I have 7 staff, and if I hired more staff and a manager, my expenses through the roof. I mean, do I do enough business to be able to afford more staff and a manager?
Yeah.
Or do I just figure out a way that I can run it? I mean, the end game for me is that I want to be able to work from Bangkok, but still come back and forth here enough. Unfortunately for Bangkok, it's 2.5 hour flight. I can just hop on and hop up whenever I need to.
Yeah, when you preach it to the choir, man. I'm out here trying to move to Philippines.
Yeah.
It's the exact same situation. It's like 2.5 hour flight,
Yeah.
2 hour flight. You're going to be managing the business remotely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that for sure. That's kind of I feel like here you almost have to have like a hybrid of, you have the Chinese employee who's a superstar who can deal with factory stuff, but then you also need to have kind of like a foreign person
Dealing with
presence who's
clientele.
dealing with clientele, dealing with the business management as a whole, just because they're going to understand the direction you want to take the business in general.
Yeah.
Now finding that person is that's always going to be the issue.
It's a job in itself.
Yeah, I mean, it's only find that person. Like, I have friends of mine who have done exactly that.
Yeah.
They've hired staff. Like, there's a big Indian trading company here. I'm not going to say names, but they've hired staff and they're giving them management roles to run their own, like, certain brands. Like, okay, you know what? We're working this brand. You handle it. There's a team of staff you have to deal with. They'll take their cut. We give them commission. They give them commission, ownership, percent of sales and stuff. But they'll still take a back-end commission from the factory, where it just turns ugly. But again, like, is that a problem or not? I don't know. It depends on you. Because I mean, yes, you're taking a cut, but at the same time, they're managing the product.
They're doing it. Yeah, I mean, okay.
We were
Obviously, you want people to be honest, but
Yeah.
I mean, if it's not really affecting your prices, and it's not really affecting the client's prices,
As long
and
as
the
it's
quality
getting
of the
done and you're
product,
still making money.
who
I was telling Rico when I first started the business, we had an employee who worked with us for about 3 years. It started to sour. We realized, you know, we had to let her go, and I took up the task of trying to reconnect with all the factories who she was the lead on.
Yeah.
And what I found was every single one of the products from all of those factories, when I went back in to check on everything, all my prices dropped. She'd been running it for 3 years, and prices had steadily been going up in China, but yet all of my prices dropped. So it's like, oh, I'm doing pretty well off of this this job for the past 3 years. Huh?
to the point where she ended up.
Within a couple of years after she left, I know she she transitioned to a good job, but yeah, from what I heard, she was buying properties.
Exactly. The same thing when my friend's company went
That
through.
link to the Maldives.
I was just trying to keep the lights on, girl. You know?
Yeah.
We're killing it out here.
I mean, that is business, but I don't know what line you draw. Like, is that business good business because they're hustling, so they're like, you know what, I want to make more money out of this,
Yeah.
or is it being dishonest and you get rid of them? You know, that's what happened to me twice.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I deal with the factory bosses directly when it comes to prices and orders.
Yeah.
In terms of development, sampling, development, order lead time, all that stuff, merchandising stuff, it's them. But pricing and delivery dates, that's me.
I think you know, I still make decisions on the final supplier for me. Right, so I look at the prices, we compare the market, and so it always comes down to me, and the client doesn't make any decision on the final supplier. We're a little bit different because we take our payments as a separate consulting fee. So, I mean, I guess the staff could still make a deal with the factory, but it's like we're not paying the factory ourselves. So,
It's difficult.
yeah, for them to do so, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But I don't know, how would I feel? Like, how would I feel if I found out one of the employees was taking like I guess I probably would fire that person.
I fired both my staff to do that to me.
You did right off the bat.
And the thing is
was
that-
it significant?
Well,
And
say it's over a span of a year.
sure.
You kept taking 1-2 RMB from the price.
I mean, you're doing big business.
Yeah, I
man.
mean,
that's like
I
the girl that
guarantee
I was
on
dealing
average
with.
he made an extra 8 to 10,000 RMB a month. On top of
Yeah,
the salary, what I was paying him already
That
was
was-
8,000.
that was,
And
my
8,000 4
situation.
years ago, yeah. 8,000 RMB 4 years ago was a lot, a huge salary. Yeah, but
Way more than their salary
Exactly.
at the time. You weren't paying them 10,000 a month.
no way.
3 to 4 at that time, right?
Yeah, like 3 to 5.
Yeah, so
3
that
to
staff
5.
specifically was making a little higher because the way he was managing the order, I was like, beautiful, I ain't gotta do shit. You know, can you step back? I'll get the prices. He'll deal with it. I was like, perfect. His emails were good. He hustled hard with the fact, pushed them. Great, but you know, he was in terms of as a merchandiser. Not, I mean, besides the fact that he was making money on the side, but as a merchandiser, he was actually really good. You know, everything was organized. His desk was clean. Everything was folder. And you know, you access his computer through shared network, clean. You know, so in the beginning, I just kept my mouth shut. Yeah.
But he had quite a bit of extra incentive
Yeah,
to do so.
exactly. So in the beginning, I just kept my mouth shut. But then I found out he started dealing with a lot of factories that I work with. I'm like, you know what, this is gonna stop.
How did you find out?
So
You followed up?
no, so basically, initially, I relied on the factories that he brought to me.
Okay.
Yeah, because he said, you know what, you're doing denims. I have 3 factories I work with. Don't worry about it. I got this.
Yeah.
And I went to meet the boss and everything, you know. But he already had an agreement with the boss. Like, I'll bring this client. Give me money on the side.
You cut me off.
But then I started getting close with the boss. You know, Chinese people, KTV, drinking
Yeah,
Chinese
yeah,
food.
yeah, yeah.
Then we started developing good rapport where he used to call me over. His son's birthday, call me over. I'm like, okay. And then it went on that I kept pushing him down for prices because I'm like, listen, if I was getting better prices, I need the prices now. And
One drunken KTV
Yeah.
night, he spilled the beans.
it was exactly one night
Tell
out
you,
drinking.
you get better prices.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lee Madoff over there. needs to-
But then again, like, how much can you micromanage as well?
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah, this. I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, it happens. Obviously, it happens. I think it happens more frequently here, but this kind of stuff happens in business around the world,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, I mean, sometimes.
More so here when you're a foreigner
when
running
you're-
a company because you don't have as many protections.
Yeah. And people feel like they can take more advantage of you because.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
of that.
Oh, I feel all the time. I feel like because I'm a foreigner, I get taken advantage of. A lot. Like
Foreigner tax.
that's it. That's exactly that.
So even C-Trip, right? Like C-Trip, the app for people who don't know, it's like Booking.com. You can
Yeah.
book
Yeah.
plane tickets, hotels, and stuff. There's a Chinese version. There's a foreigner version.
Yeah.
The Chinese version is cheaper than the foreigner.
Yeah.
version. It's just,
Facts, yeah.
it's just the way it is.
So I for all the basketball stuff, I bring pro players to China to play, and we move all over the place. So I'm moving 10 to 20 guys around at all times, and I book everything through a Chinese girl. And yeah, I go and I search out the flights on C-Trip or on Kayak or whatever, and then when she comes back, it's always a good 10%, 10 to 15% cheaper.
Even down to the freaking VIP lounge in the airport.
Yeah.
It's more expensive for foreigners. I was like, with the foreigner tax.
But we had to translate this to English, so
Yeah.
pay up.
Well, the thing is that same thing happens a lot of places, like in Thailand
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, oh man, absolutely.
Like you go into like theme parks, temples. There's something in Thai and then something
Definitely
in
the
English.
tuk-tuks.
Yeah, oh for sure. But that's because they're trying to hustle from foreigners. But I'm seeing even legal businesses
Yep.
like temples and theme parks, and you know
It's all based around tourism. So
Yeah.
yeah.
there's
They
a
know.
Thai price, which is in Thai, and then there's an English price for foreigners.
Yeah, it's also that aspect because it's so like the cost is so cheap anyways. People just come in and they're like, "Oh, this is so cheap," and they're like, "Oh, okay, you think it's cheap, huh?"
I always like to
Alright.
tell the story. When I first moved to China, it was during Chinese New Year, and a Chinese friend in the States, recommended that I stay at the White Swan Hotel. So my first 2 weeks in China, I was living at the White Swan, and it was
Yeah.
during Chinese New Year, so it was really quiet. At
Yeah.
that time, nowadays, there's a ton of people there during Chinese New Year, but when I got there, there was nobody.
Yeah.
And I just remember walking around Shamian Island and thinking, oh my God, man, these DVDs are like 50 RMB. This is amazing. You know, I'd go to eat and I'd spend like $15 on this big meal. I was like, this is
Yeah.
incredible. And then like 4 days later, I ventured across the street and I was like, oh, damn, I'm getting smacked over here. Man. You know? DVDs are like 8 RMB. I've been paying 50 all week,
Yeah.
you know?
But yeah, the whole end game for me is that next. I mean, I don't want to keep a direct timeline, but in the next 3 to 5 years, I want to be based out of Bangkok, and then fly back and forth forever.
So obviously you've been here for a while and you have like this network. Do you know a lot of other sourcing companies, like trading companies here?
Yeah. A bunch of my friends are basically 90% of my friends are traders.
I mean, I know some of the guys that are based in Guangzhou, but these are guys that, to me, I think have a bigger online presence. Like the guys that you know, do they have like an online presence, or is it how do they usually get their customers? Is it more the traditional sourcing where they?
Traditional,
they've been doing
Alibaba,
it, yeah.
or trade fairs.
I'm curious. Like there aren't that many. Maybe I shouldn't even be talking about this. Like, but anyways, I was thinking there's just
Don't
not
put
that
it out
many.
there, man.
There's just so many of people in our industry that are like making content like YouTube and podcasts and stuff like that. Like,
Barely.
do you know why?
Now,
Do you
actually,
have an opinion on why?
see, there's only
A whole nother arm of your
Exactly.
company that you got to manage and
do you have the
operate.
time, the knowledge, the capacity, the patience to focus on that when you have your other shit to worry about?
Yeah.
You know?
You're not going to make dope content from day one.
Exactly. But at the same time,
to build it up.
you got to pay your bills. At the same time, you're trying to make money. But see, it's because they don't know. You know, when you're in China for so long, you forget what's outside. Huh? I've been in the apparel industry for so long.
Yeah.
I should have created my own brand overseas. I would have killed it. Because my prices are on point, my styles are
Yeah,
on point.
I was about to ask you that question because you said you're now launching that.
Yeah,
brand in
that's
China.
exactly.
I was like, well, how come you haven't done apparel?
Exactly. See,
That's about
it's
to-
because, like, like I wanted to do it in Thailand. Okay, could easily done it. The problem is I'm not there. I need someone who's as passionate as me to take the product and focus on all the online stuff. I can't do that running in here. If I had to do that and manage production here and manage my office here, I lose my mind. I go, it's especially dealing with, it's overseas again. I got to call, message, chase up on them, and say like any physical delivery stuff, logistic stuff, I'm not even there, which is one of the reasons why I never got into it. But I am getting into it now, in China and in India. I'm starting my own online brand in India. One of my boys from college pitched this idea to me about a year ago. I said, you know what? Why didn't we ever do this 6 years ago? I went to college with this guy. We finished 10 years ago. I'm like, why didn't you ever mention this before? He's like, yeah, I don't know either. So he's basically, his company in India is called Slick Ventures. It's basically a social marketing company. You give them the product, you give them the brand name, give them your prices. They'll do everything from Amazon, Instagram, finding influencers, the whole shebang. And he's like, we should have done this. And I'm doing that now. I'm launching that brand in July.
Okay. So you think it's just basically like when you've been in China for a certain amount of time, you just get into that vortex,
Yep.
and then they're not really paying
Yep.
attention to
Exactly.
how stuff is developing.
It's not that by choice. It's just because you have so much going on here.
Yeah.
Like you kind of
The demands of running a trading
exactly.
company.
I mean, it's not 9 to 5. It's
Yep.
like 10 to 1 in the morning. It's like it's never ending.
Especially when you have clients on the other side of the world.
Exactly. I have clients in Australia, so my emails start at 5:30 in the morning, but then my emails end at 2 a.m. at night. So it's constant emails coming back and forth. My brother and I managed the business, and my sister-in-law, she joined us too when they got married. So the roles are divided, but still at the same time, we actively had to be involved in everything. Even though she handles something else, my brother handles something, I handle something else. But we still have to be CC'd on emails just in case, someone needs to do this, someone needs to do that. Because you're so busy on your day-to-day, you're just trying to get through the week and hope nothing goes wrong. Hope no factories run away. Hope no clients run away. You have so many problems, so many things on your plate. You just tend to forget what's happening outside. And they are, like now I'm seeing a lot of Chinese people who are moving away from Alibaba, moving towards LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I was shocked at how many suppliers on LinkedIn.
I get a ton of messages.
Yeah.
From Chinese
It's
freight
free.
forwarders.
No, it's not free. It's cheaper.
Factory.
A lot cheaper.
Yeah. So
Like Alibaba a year would cost you about the VIP, the gold package, like $6 grand.
Really,
Yeah.
Can you really present your products the same way?
No, it's more like
it's outbound marketing.
it's like
So they'll
telemarketing but
message you.
online now.
So they'll message you and say, hey, Rico, you run a trading company. We sell these products. Here's a link to our website.
Yeah. So
That's how it goes.
I do that too.
Yeah.
About 2 years ago, so that whole Middle East thing happened to me, and that's just the point where 50% of our business was with the Middle East. And I'm like, you know what? I need to start venturing out of the Middle East because they had their problems. Let me hustle. I remember it was Chinese New Year 2 years ago. I got the VIP package on LinkedIn, which is $100 a month, and then I emailed and cold called and messaged at least 150 companies: Australia, New Zealand, UK, Scotland, US, at least 150 companies in that during Chinese New Year, those 3 weeks. I got orders from 2 of them. And I'm still working on one of them today. The second one was an Australian company that my factory screwed up. But it's a lot of effort. It's like telemarketing where you just call and hustle.
They're probably like, never respond to any LinkedIn messages.
Yeah.
Never again, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Who the fuck is this guy?
That's Jordan Kalfis type.
Yeah, exactly.
Philosophy.
Because with LinkedIn, you message them, calling, and emailing them, right? And it's just that one time someone says, "All right, you know what? Shoot me an email." The second you have the email address, you're set. Then it's all about your product and your email and how organized it can be. Because until they don't respond or until they don't give you the email address, then you have nothing. And a couple of times where I haven't got email address, I get names and I'm just calling the hotline. Like, hey, it's this person, man. How you doing?
So what products do you focus on now, just so people know?
Well, I'm mainly in clothing, women's fashion. 80% of my business is women's fashion. I also do men's. I work with fast fashion companies in the UK and in Australia.
I wanted to ask you because I haven't done so much with apparel. You haven't had too many apparel orders. Some.
We've done more of the the report side, not actual production.
From my understanding, a lot of the apparel is moving out of China, especially South China.
Depends which market you're working with, right? For example, with the US, a lot of it's a price game, and especially with duties, cheap stuff you order out of Bangladesh or India, right?
Indonesia.
Not much Thailand. Burma, zero tax, Vietnam. And when they buy from China, it costs 12% more. Right? Just tax is 12%.
And the cost of operating here is continuing to go up.
But they're more efficient here. They've got economies of scale on point.
Without a doubt, yeah.
Like I'm surprised. Like I went back to Thailand with my samples. I'm thinking, you know what? Labor's cheaper in Thailand. Let me do this. It costs more. I'm like, how? Then I'm like, oh wait, they work 10 to 4. They don't work Saturday and Sunday.
The infrastructure here, just
Oh,
how
yeah.
efficient the workplace is, it's not going to move quickly.
Yeah. So the stuff I do, where it's not the cheap end, it's the fashion end. It's like the level, the brands that I work with. I mean, they're kind of like the Zara level, where it's fast fashion, where it's not cheap, but it's not too expensive, and the shipments every 2 weeks, every week. Like some of my clients, they order 200 pieces of a T-shirt, 150 pieces, but their shipments every week.
That's awesome.
So it's just ongoing. Smaller. A lot of my clients are small quantity clients now. But it's nonstop, 30, 40 styles every week. Boom, boom, boom.
It's not really small quantity.
No, it's not. It's not. I just meant like upfront,
Purpose, yeah.
Like it's gone are the days for me where I get container orders right away. No, not that anymore.
Yeah, everyone's trying to cut it down to make
Yeah, I mean, I understand.
order.
Exactly,
What's
I understand what they're trying to do.
Right. What's the Dell computer process?
The Dell computer.
Like, didn't Dell really start that process where people would make an order of a computer and they would just put it together on site? They wouldn't invest in a ton of stock of this type of computer.
Okay.
They would have.
I
X
know that,
number
but that
of
makes
parts.
sense.
Like a custom
Assembly line.
Yeah,
But local assembly, like on-site
that was
assembly.
Like Michael Dell that really got that moving. I do believe. But
Yeah.
that's definitely the situation now. I know with the stuff that I've been trying to do lately, like I'm trying to focus on people that have consistent stock of this product.
Okay.
Makes things a lot easier.
Yeah.
Than having to
Well,
go
that's
in
kind of
on
like the
big
same
MOQ
mentality
order.
my clients are using. The brands I work with are using. Like, instead of ordering stuff for the next 3 months, next 6 months, paying for warehouse, paying for storage, worrying about the business climate,
For sure.
month to month basis.
Yeah.
Like, so the brand in Australia that I work with,
You're so much more flexible.
it's so quicker. It's so much quicker. They even send the goods by air. They air it in every week.
Well, in the episode I did with Felipe, he was talking about how they have algorithms that are going through like social media,
Yeah.
and they'll see like if there's a specific handbag or
Yeah.
shirt or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
that like Kim Kardashian wears, and everyone's like, where can I get that? And they'll have that in production within
Yeah,
a
exactly.
week or 2 weeks.
Fashion Nova is an example of that.
Yeah.
Fashion Nova on Instagram, they're an example of exactly what you just said.
I think he even mentioned.
Yeah. I'm sure he mentioned that because we've spoken about this before. But I mean, that's an example of how Kickstarter never really kicked off as much. Kickstarter, the whole concept of Kickstarter, Indiegogo, it's pretty interesting. Crowdsourcing, crowdfunding, all that stuff. But the second a product gains momentum on Kickstarter or on Shark Tank, Chinese factories are on it.
It's already on it.
They're on it.
Oh, shit,
Which is a
man.
lot. It's
They have the crowdfunding campaign.
They have their
in
own here.
China.
They have their own here.
And as soon as they see something hitting their goal, they're starting to move the money.
Yeah.
It goes right up on the fucking
Exactly. So
Chinese
imagine
side,
American companies in the US, in the UK, like Dragon's Den in the UK, who come up with this $1 million idea, like thinking, oh, they'll patent this, do that. Chinese guys are making a cheaper version of that ready to go.
Right. On Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's can't blame them. They're trying to hustle.
You're breaking some hearts.
And unfortunately for Chinese people, they have hustle. They have their infrastructure.
It's
on
in the
point.
DNA.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, infrastructure-wise, it's. I mean, I talked about it. I did a video about that. And I'm just like, like even just down to local shipping. Because I mean, this stuff factors into cost, right? Like if you're ordering raw materials from this place, it has to ship and all.
Yeah,
that.
they're on point.
Their infrastructure.
It's
for
on
that
point.
is
Yeah,
fast.
it's amazing.
Which is why their online business is so good. You have
Right.
Taobao, you have JD.com. Stuff gets delivered in one night, 2 nights at the most, 3 nights if you're sending a Xinjiang.
Extremely low
Yeah,
cost.
to the other side of the country.
Yeah, and that's 3 nights guaranteed
Yeah.
on Shungfeng.
For a fraction of the price of what you pay anywhere else.
Which is why online
And
business.
Thailand's pretty cheap too.
Yeah, but it's not as quick though.
Right. Yeah, that's for sure.
But that's how it is in Thailand, right? You can't expect everything there. But that's why online businesses are doing so well in China. Which is why a lot of the factories, like other factories I've found, they're happier doing local businesses now.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have, like I work with activewear, a lot of activewear swimwear companies where, quantities you don't need to work with big quantities in these items. And they just set up their own Taobao page. And every day they have at least 1,000 couriers going out.
Just to piggyback on what you just said, I'd say the factories that I was working with a lot 5 to 7 years ago,
Yeah.
I would say at least half of them, at the very minimum, half of them have transitioned to fully domestic sales now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Why would I want to deal with people trying to push price down?
Yeah.
Super high quality concerns,
Payments
wanting
are-
payment terms.
Payments
all the
in
time,
advance.
like-
You get paid first, then you ship it out.
right.
Exactly.
So like, why am I dealing with other people?
Yeah.
It's also why China's the force that it is. It
Yeah.
can probably sustain itself in a lot of
Eventually.
Yeah, what's happened is they've spent 10, 15 years, 20 years just taking money from other countries. And now the money is here. And then now the people have disposable.
Well, the money is here now. It's going back up because they're buying off. They're buying everything. They bought all of Africa. They bought like a bunch of things. They bought the port in Sri
Ton of
Lanka,
America.
a ton of America. Dude, they bought.
Shit, they're everywhere
They're
in
everywhere. 'Cause-
Thailand.
Yeah,
Oh
they're
my
everywhere.
God.
Yeah, they have. I shouldn't be saying this online, but there's an illegal mode of transport where I can deliver stuff to Thailand in 7 days off the boat.
So what does that? Do you want me to cut this out, or can I ask more questions?
No, ask me.
What does that mean exactly?
For example, you have.
So
you want-
if I wanted to ship something to Thailand that I usually wouldn't be able to ship, or
if you want to
just-
avoid paying
just-
taxes in
yeah.
Thailand or showing off, so basically off the books in Thailand.
Okay.
Because certain products in Thailand, their duties are very high. Because you try to protect the local industry,
Yeah.
especially with apparel. They try to protect their own factories. So I would.
The right customs agent.
You know what they do? There's a truck that drives through from here to Bangkok.
Oh, wow.
7 to 9 days guaranteed delivery.
Amazing. It's crazy.
Guaranteed, and they're all over. You go to Chungda, there's Thai companies set up there. If you go to Shisanghang, which is like clothing market after Beijing Loop, it's right downstairs. Just like, the second you order your product, go down, like, yeah, take it, go. See you later.
How much are you saving?
It's not about this. It's not. See, I don't know how much you're saving, but it's not about the saving. It's just that 7 days you're ready to sell. Instead of having the whole process of importing it in or all that. I mean, for small guys, it's the best way to ship.
Yeah. Rather than there.
Other than air, other than by sea, you have to worry about customs, tax, and all that crap. People who don't have any setup in Thailand, they don't want to go through all that headache. This is getting delivered door to door, like literally to my office in Bangkok, ready to go. I don't have to go anywhere. And they have it in Xiamen, they have it in Guangzhou, they have it in Yiwu. Ready to go. Incredible. Amazing. I mean, and it's not one company, there's like 4 or 5 companies that are doing this. There's also a service vice versa, but it costs more.
It'd be a cool thing to document following the truck
Yeah.
all the way in.
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That's
Be hiding in
yeah. Like back in the day, that was my 50% of my business was to Thailand,
Yeah.
and this is how I did it. Because my clients are like, listen, I'm ordering $10,000 pieces from you, ship 2,000 by sea, legit, and then send it to me by road.
Your early customers were Thai customers. Your early customers.
Yeah. So when I first moved here, my bulk of my business was Thailand. Because I should do a lot of textiles.
That's cool, man. So I guess closing questions. What is the biggest lesson you learned about doing business in China?
Ooh, tons of lessons I've learned living in China.
So what's the major one? What's the one that sticks out in your brain? What does China taught you?
Plain and simple, hard work pays off. Plain and simple, hard work pays off. Like, you see Chinese people working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. I respect them a lot. Like, even though they might not be the brightest people, and they're known for that copycat culture, but they're hustlers, and I see my staff work late, put the effort in. I gotta give them that. And it's the same way that applies to the whole China in general. People are just always on the go.
They adapt quickly, man.
Yeah, and
They
quick,
adapt quick.
They're quick. I mean, anything you need, you forget business. It's just everyday life. It's like, all right, what's this? All right, that's why, things like WeChat, Alipay.
Right.
For 2 years in China, WeChat was illegal. Did you know that? WeChat Pay was illegal
WeChat.
when it first launched.
When
When they first launched in China, the first 2 years of operation, they didn't have a license yet.
it was technically illegal.
WeChat.
Yeah,
WeChat and Alipay.
Alipay.
Was running.
Yeah,
We're not supposed to be doing
but
They just didn't have the license.
no, and
They were
we
just
know.
working on the
Yeah, but you know
license
why
level.
they could run? There was no laws against it, so it was the gray area, where there was no laws for it or against it yet.
Yeah, I mean
Those were the days when there was no limit on your WeChat.
Yeah.
Well, the thing was, they were talking about
No fees.
I was reading about that before, and they were saying, okay, for example, in the U.S., like, there's what's the population now? Like 350 now,
380.
Yeah.
380 now, 380 million, and then the amount of companies is smaller. So whenever a new company launches that innovates, it's very easy for the lawmakers to study that business and come up with a law within like a year. But because the scale of China is like there's hundreds of thousands of new startups coming up every year, they just don't have the amount of people that can
keep
monitor
up with
all these
everything.
different new businesses
The
until it
laws
gets
and
to a
the
stage.
regulations
Yeah.
can only come so
And
fast.
mind you, WeChat was the only social networking chat platform when they first started, and they were only chats. So everyone, so this is like what? How many years have WeChat been around? 10 years now? 12 years now?
I don't think that long.
No, 8. I think
Eight?
it's around 8.
Yeah.
Say 8 years. That's back before that, there was no chat. It was all SMS, right?
Yeah.
So
I was
then,
talking to people on Skype.
yeah, there you go. But when you're on your phone, everyone who owns a smartphone now, everyone who owns a smartphone in China now has WeChat because that's the only chat software, right? And then when you integrate a payment system, you haven't added another app to their phone. It's already on it. You just add another service.
Yeah.
So the integration of WeChat was so big
Changed
and
my
quick.
life, man.
Exactly. I can't live
WeChat
without it.
changed my life.
I don't carry cash. The problem is I don't carry cash sometimes.
Yeah.
Like stuff like my IE, she doesn't have a bank account. She's like paying my salary. I'm like, yeah, sure. I keep forgetting for a week because it's cash. Things like this. But that's where they're quick. They're quick. They integrate anything.
Yeah.
Next question: if somebody was to get to know you better, what free books, podcasts, blogs would you recommend they listen to or read?
Oh, Gary Vee for sure.
Gary Vee, like his podcast?
His podcast, whatever. You read his books. You read, watch his listen to his podcast. Even Instagram, his quotes and stuff. It's great. That's one. The other guy. Well, see, that's for business, right? In terms of books, I read there's a Afghani book called Kite Runner.
Yeah, for sure.
I've
read that. I've read that.
It's about this from a family's point of view, the girl's point of view about the war in Afghanistan.
Wait, didn't they? Was there
The movie.
movie about
Yeah.
the movie? I watched it. Okay.
So there's also that and Thousand Splendid Suns, which is the continuation of that. It's a whole series of 3 books. That's a great book to read. Again. Not business related. I mean, I know we're all about the business and stuff, but it's great to just learn about something else once in a while. Another way to get to me better?
You a podcast person?
No.
Not really.
I've probably ever listened to one podcast in my life. I've never got into it. That's what I'm saying. Because I've been here for so long, you just don't know about these things where
You gotta humor us, man. Let us think that you're listening to the podcast, all right?
You gotta lie.
I'm a VIP on this every day.
The only podcast I listen to is
The only
China podcast by you guys.
Oh well, okay.
Free
Then again,
comedy
actually, the title of this, maybe I'll watch. I like watching a lot of comedies, like stand-up comedians, like Joe Rogan's good. I watch his podcast. I watch his thing on YouTube. There's guy like Trevor Noah.
So you watch? So then you watch his podcast?
Yeah. Okay.
You
Well,
listen
yeah.
to his podcast?
Well, yeah. Then my favorite person is John Oliver.
John Oliver,
Oh, he's the
yeah.
best. I used to like the Australian guy. What's his name?
Is he also like a late night guy?
Yeah, late night guy, Australian.
I know the guy that's talking about
Jim Jeffries.
Jim Jeffries.
But then I found out now that half of his segments are nonsense. He's actually changed up.
He's changing the.
The
I think we might
storyline.
have watched the same YouTube video with the guy.
The
he
Jewish guy.
recorded, Yeah, he
The
recorded
Jewish guy,
it,
he recorded the whole thing.
Yeah, and then
There's
he
a
showed
Jewish,
how
so they went to Australia.
spiced up his answers to make him look
And
like he was more
racist, yeah.
racist than he. He's just like he's like a right wing guy. He's a conservative guy.
Jim? Jeffrey?
No, the guy's
the guy he
interviewing.
was interviewed.
Okay.
So Jim Jeffries asked him to come on to the show, and then they spliced up.
Oh,
his-
they made him look worse than he was.
Yeah.
They cut
So
up
the guy
shit
is
there.
Jewish himself from Australia, and he was anti-Muslim, but he wasn't anti-Muslim per se.
Okay.
He was trying
Just a
to.
little more hardline, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, see what he was just saying. He didn't want the radicals to come here. He meant that.
Yeah.
But then, the Jim Jeffries picked and chose certain scenes of the interview where it made it look like, oh, I hate Muslims.
So
Throw 'em all out.
because this dude anticipated that was going to happen, he set up a secret camera
Yeah.
in the hotel room.
Yeah.
So it made him look
So-
bad when he saw.
Who's the interview he did that with after that?
I don't know.
There's another guy. I know what you're talking about. There's another, but yeah. So definitely John Oliver. I love watching him. Stephen Colbert sometimes, not as much because sometimes he's a bit too much Trump. I get that's really boring sometimes. Actually, a lot of times. Hassan Minaj.
Meaning the content.
Yeah.
The content's too much.
Have you watched
junk.
Hassan Minaj's show on
Oh,
Netflix?
it's amazing. Patriot Act.
Patriot Act.
Yeah,
that was
it's amazing.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
you know,
good.
every episode he teaches you things
Yeah.
where it's great, like things you never focused on.
He basically made a YouTube show.
Yeah.
Netflix,
Netflix,
a
yeah.
late night show
Yeah.
on Netflix.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that is genius, man. Like,
He did one on Amazon that I watched. It was
Yeah,
very
he
good.
did one about
I
Supreme
watched
hype.
that one as well.
He
Yeah,
did
the Supreme hype, I saw that. That's
He
good.
did one about the Indian
like that.
politics, which is like genius because a lot of people don't know about Indian politics as much. That it's a democracy, but it doesn't make sense. But yeah, he picks stuff like that's why I like John Oliver so much. Every 2 weeks or every week he has a new topic,
Yeah.
and it's really important the things he talks about. He covers student loan in one episode. He covers things like taxes. He covers things like there's a thing called gerrymandering, which I never knew what it was about.
Oh man, in the States, that's
Yeah,
a big deal.
gerrymandering. You know what gerrymandering is?
It's a big deal.
So it's a big deal, but I didn't know that was an issue. And then how,
That's how Trump won the election.
Exactly, but it's like you go through one state, the line they would change the line to go.
like-
Oh no, now it's So I was mind blown with that episode. But like you know, little things like these where he picks topics that people should actually know about, but people don't. So
Especially Americans.
Oh yeah.
He
I mean-
did one on Ponzi schemes.
Yeah, that's right. That's
multi-level
right.
Marketing.
That's
That was one
right.
of my favorites.
He did one about the pharmacies too.
Yeah.
seen that one.
Yeah, he did one of pharmacies about how the big industries they're the biggest drug suppliers, and also what they're talking about. Basically, the industries that are meant to protect consumers, the health industries, they're the biggest drug suppliers, drug dealers in the world. Actually, the American companies, like people who supply things like Prozac and stuff like that. You know,
And they're the lobby against natural
exactly. Which is one of the reasons probably why CBD oil never kicks off. You know, that's because of them.
Do you watch the Daily Show with Trevor Noah?
Yeah, I do. He's good. I do actually watch him every week. He's on.
I like him.
Yeah,
I like Trevor
he's
Noah.
good. But I really like John Oliver because he's entertaining. Really entertaining.
All right. If people want to reach out to you, how can they contact you?
Well, you know, WeChat, Chugani86, Instagram, Chugani86. How else you reach out? Facebook, Aakash Chugani. You spell it out later.
We'll link
Yeah,
up
we'll-
everything in the
we'll
show
link
notes.
Yeah.
We'll probably have some little graphics somewhere. Yeah, you know what I mean? You know how we do it. All right, man.
Thank you.
Good to talk to you. Thanks, man. Thanks for
No
coming
worries.
around.
No worries.
You just want a Cardi, and I just want to ride. Go and get a body. I'm shining, now I'm guarding. What do I see you burning? What you know I am just learning. I'm keeping what I'm earning. I'm getting what I'm swerving. You just want a Cardi, and I just want to ride. Go and get a body. I'm shining, now I'm guarding. What do I see you burning?